Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your September 2016 mid-month readings. As you can see from my background, I am back at my home base after having been in Eastern Europe for the last month. But as those of you who follow my channel know, I did continue to post and work with clients while I was gone. So thank you very much for those of you who continue to watch and listen and follow and subscribe to this channel. Your support and feedback means a great deal to me, and I welcome and appreciate it very much. In particular, your comments. You guys are just really brilliant at the comments. I love reading how the readings play out so predictively in your lives for those of you for whom they do resonate. These are general readings, of course, and if this is your primary sun sign, it may or may not resonate for you some months and some readings, so make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well. They may play out for you a little more predictively in different readings at different times. So, or if you're like me, I often find that each of my three signs, sun, moon, and rising, resonate for me in different sectors of my life. So try to watch all three when you can to get as whole a picture as possible. Thank you, always a thank you to those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings. It is a pleasure and an honor always to read for you, and I thank you so very much for the trust that you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. And thank you to those of you, to my regular clients, for giving me the consistent feedback in your lives on how things are playing out moving forwards for you as well. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more information in detail on who I am and what I do, and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you, so if you're interested, send me an email and we will go from there. I do readings full-time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and schedule a reading in a pretty timely fashion. My current turnaround time is anywhere from a few days to a week and a half or so, always within a 2-week period, depending on whether you want recorded or live. Sometimes setting up live or Skype readings can take a day or two longer, just in coordinating times and time zones sometimes. So, but if you're interested, let me know. One-on-one readings are my favorite things to do, and I would be very happy to work with you. So I am continuing to use the Gilded Tarot by, whoa, do you see that pop right out there? I am continuing to use my beloved Gilded Tarot deck by artist Ciro Marchetti, and even though we are focusing more on the last half of the month than the month in its entirety, I'm still going to be using the same 8-card spread with an additional 9th card representing your overall energy and advice for the remainder of September 2016. Well, my hair is its usual electrocuted kind of look today. So moving right along into this reading, this is for Leo for September 2016 mid-month. Show me the energies for the fire sign of Leo for September 2016 mid-month. Our feisty, fiery Leons. Leo, September 2016 mid-month. God, Spirit, Angels, Guide, show me the energies for the fire sign of Leo, Leo the Lion, for the remainder of September 2016 mid-month. What does the rest of September have in store for our lovely lions? Leo, September 2016 mid-month. Leo the Lion, September 2016 mid-month. Okay. Oh, very nice. From the bottom of the deck, Leo, your crowning card representing your overall energy and advice over the reading is the 6 of Wands, Victory and Triumph. Excellent. So we begin with the Ace of Cups, followed by the 9 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, followed by the Page of Cups, the High Priestess, followed by the 5 of Cups, and the Moon card, followed by the Empress. Interesting. Let's just take a look here, Leo. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. I feel like some of you are discovering new love, new emotional beginnings, and you're almost kind of giddy with it, and acting may make you feel like you're a child in love again. It's kind of an interesting read, and I think it's actually going to help you overcome some issues of loss from the past as well. So let's begin, Leo. We find ourselves in the middle of September 2016 with the Ace of Cups, followed by the Nine of Pentacles. So the Ace of Cups. Cups is a suit governed by the element of water. So it's a suit all about that watery fluid world of feelings and emotions, love and relationships. All different kinds of love and all different kinds of relationships. So the Ace of Love the Ace of Love. Love, I think, is in the air for Leos. The Ace of Cups can represent new love. It can represent new emotional beginnings or kind of a resurgence of emotion and love within a currently existing relationship. It can represent new emotional beginnings in another sector of your life as well. And aces represent the ones. They represent promise, potential, seeds. Seeds still needing to be planted, of course, and watered and fertilized and pruned so that they can grow to their full and proper manifestation. Otherwise, it just fizzles out as an initial beginning or thought or idea. In this case, it would be, meeting somebody new but not following up with them, or having some kind of new emotional beginnings in another area of your life, but not really doing the follow-through work, so it just ends up kind of fizzling out. So just remember that whatever this represents, in order for it to manifest to the full potential that the ace contains, it needs to be nurtured and cared for. But it looks like for some of you Leos out there, you may be meeting somebody new that feels very lovely and exciting and in a romantic kind of love-based relationship sort of way. But for others of you, it's new emotional beginnings, and for some of you, it's new beginnings which are about. For some of you, I feel like this actually doesn't even have to do with another person or relationships. For some of you, and it could be a smaller portion of you, but I feel like the message is quite strong that you have begun a new path somehow. It feels like you've let go of some things, or something's been revealed to you that started you off on a new path that has you feeling very excited and hopeful. It's as if a new area of your heart has opened up, but it's about you and you alone for some of you, because that Ace of Cups is paired with the Nine of Pentacles. So Pentacles being governed by the element of earth, it's a suit that's about our earthly, physical, material world. It's tangible energy. It can often point to things like money, finances, property, resources, etc. Tangible things you can see and touch and feel. In areas of spirituality and love and relationships, this can also, you can also apply the same energy, but the energy is still very tangible, or it's tangible results of an effort we put into those areas of our lives. Now the Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment. That kind of quiet, strong-rooted self-empowerment and confidence that comes from having put in the effort to build up a stable and successful foundation for ourselves. And this can represent, it can represent you being alone or being with someone else too, but this card is primarily about you. You can see that the woman on this card is standing in her garden. It's a beautiful garden. She's wearing a beautiful dress. It kind of, I always think it kind of has that sheen of silk about it. She's very well put together. She obviously has the resources to take very good care of herself. She's standing in the middle of her beautiful garden, enjoying, she's just surrounded by things which represent either wealth or luxury, physical comforts. And the reason this card is about independence, self-sufficiency, and self-empowerment is because the things that this woman is enjoying are representative of things that she has earned herself. She has put in by dint of her own labor, her own talent, her own work. She has perhaps slowly but successfully built up a foundation for herself, and she's now at a place where she's enjoying the fruits of her labors. This is a woman for whom very little, if anything, any of these things have been handed to her on a silver platter. Everything that she's enjoying, she's worked for and earned herself, which is why it's such a self-empowering kind of card. And paired with the Ace of Cups, Leo, for September 2016 mid-month. For some of you, this is going to represent, again, I think it's for a smaller portion of you, but the message still feels quite strong. The sun just kind of came out from behind the clouds, so the light's kind of gotten a bit bright. For some of you, you've begun a new path, or I'm getting for some of you, you've gotten, something's been revealed to you that has opened up a whole new avenue of your life that you didn't know existed, or an area of your heart that you didn't know existed. And it holds the potential to be pretty much anything. The possibilities are limitless, but it feels like it's a new beginning for you. And it's in the realm of your emotions and your heart. It could be, again, new relationships as well. But for a smaller portion of you, I don't feel like it's love or romance based. And it feels like it's a time where it's more about you, even for those of you who are in relationships or for whom this is a relationship reading with somebody else. Again, it feels like at least around the middle of September and maybe a little bit before that. The focus is on some kind of new path and new emotional beginnings for you that are very they're self-empowering, and they make you feel kind of stronger. And again, even if you're in a relationship or this does come across resonate for you as a relationship reading with somebody else, there's still a sense of something happening that's just kind of focused more on you, and kind of realizing how far you've come, taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate and honor everything that you've been through and everything that you've worked so hard to achieve. And again, starting out in some kind of new way. For some of you, again, I don't feel like this is a love romance based relationship, although it could be beginning a new relationship in other ways. For I mean, I depend on you guys for your great feedback. However it plays out, it's new emotional beginnings, and it's also acknowledging how far you've come and everything that you've achieved. For some of you, this is meeting somebody new. It's new love for you. Again, I'm just getting quite strongly just this feeling of, it's as if something has occurred, which it's almost as if this new beginning or new emotional beginning in this love is about and for you. So you'll have to give me feedback for those of you for whom that resonates, because that's quite fascinating. But again, for some of you, it's new love. You've met somebody new, and they're just kind of making your heart sing. And I think for some of you who have met somebody new recently, I think that you guys have been alone for quite some time, for a significant period of time, and I think you've been just fine with that. This Nine of Pentacles, she might be partnered with someone, she might not, but it doesn't really matter. If she's by herself, she loves her life, she's fine. If she's with somebody else, she loves herself, she loves her life, she's fine. I think for those of you who have met somebody new recently, you've been on your own for some time, but you've been at peace with that. You've been at peace with your lifestyle, but now there's something new coming in and something new shifting. And I feel like for a lot of you, whatever it is that's happened to put you on this new path or in this new relationship or this new emotional beginning or all of the above, it's really got you feeling quite giddy and childlike, almost as if you've regressed in age a little bit, or you've become very idealistic or dreamy or romantic. You may be looking at something through rose-colored glasses, or just looking at it with that lovely perspective that a child does of anything and everything being possible in the emotional realm. And I say that because the next combination of cards is the Queen of Wands, which I'm reading loud and clear as you, Leo, your energy. It's showing up as a female, but this is a general reading, so it could just as easily be a male. Queens and Kings pretty much share the same character traits. Queens just have a slightly softer edge because they're more of the nurturer, sustainer, caretaker kind of energies, and Kings have a more masculine control, the external matters, kind of tighten things up. But it could be either male or female, but I'm reading it loud and clear, whether you're female or male watching this, that this is you, Leo. And it's fire. It's the Queen of Wands. Wands is a suit governed by the element of fire, so it's a very fiery, passionate, creative, action-oriented suit. It's about the energy of the Suit of Wands is about building, manifesting, and creating. It's very forward-moving, and it's about change and power and movement. The Queen of Wands being that Queens and Kings representing individuals who've reached the mastery of their suit. So they're more mature, reflective individuals. They've evolved spiritually and emotionally and mentally. They've matured and evolved through the Page, Knight, and then into Queen and Kings. Fiery, passionate, creative, very efficient, not one to rest on your laurels for very long. Once you make your mind up, you immediately act on it because you're fire-oriented. Very assertive, go-getter, charismatic, probably quite easy on the eyes as well. You know how to get the job done. You know how to get the problem solved, and you know how to inspire other people to do it as well. You're a great delegator. So you're showing up in your own reading, which is always a very powerful and self-empowering sign, which is great following the Knight of Pentacles, because that's also a very self-empowered energy as well. Now that Queen of Wands is paired with the Page of Cups, and I'm laughing because I'm getting, and even when I laid the cards down, I felt it right away. There's you paired with the Page of Cups, and I feel like pages represent the youngest and least mature energies of the tarot, and not in a bad way, or it just is. It's neither positive nor reflective nor negative. We actually all begin, most of us begin, all of us, at the page stage. Pages are the dreamers. They're the ones who birth the ideas, conceive the ideas, come up with the dreams. They don't yet have the experience or maturity level to kind of follow through and manifest it, but they're the ones who come up with it. They dream it, they think it, they kind of birth and conceive the ideas and dreams and hopes of it all. They're that young, they have almost that puppy kind of energy, you know, lovely, enthusiastic, maybe sometimes tripping over your own feet kind of energy. And then the Knights kind of come in. I'm just going to digress for a minute here. The Knights kind of come in and they take that dream, that idea that the pages come up with. And Knights are action oriented. They're the ones sent out on missions and quests to achieve. So they take that idea and dream and they begin to put action behind it to begin to actually manifest it into something real. They tend to be, they're a little more evolved and grown up, although they're still Knights, so they still tend to be kind of spontaneous and eager, but they're very action oriented, and they begin to turn this page's thoughts and dreams and ideas into reality. And then the Queens come in and they take what the Knights have built and they kind of, with their lovely nurturing, feeding, caretaking energy, they feed it and sustain it and help it grow to its full and proper manifestation. They have that softer, almost maternal energy. And then the Kings come in with their external control and they make sure all the, you know, the loose ends are tied up and all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and they're the protectors and guardians too, a little more of a masculine edge. So that's kind of how it works. So the pages are the youngest and least mature energies. They're kind of at the beginning of the path. Very student apprenticeship feel too. Pages can also represent messages and messengers, which is what their role was in medieval times. So this page is the Page of Cups, and I feel like paired with the Queen of Wands, paired with you, for some of you, this is whatever this new emotional beginning is, particularly for those of you who just met someone or feel like you just fell in love with someone, or perhaps there's a renewal of love somehow in a currently existing relationship. It almost feels like you've, you know, like you feel like a child again, like everything, you know, how it is when you first fall in love. It almost feels like you've regressed in age in a way that you just feel very giddy and lighthearted and almost childlike in how you're looking at things. For some of you, this can represent a message that comes in for you, and it is a message of love, of emotional support. It's an emotional message, and for some of you, this could be a combination of both. But it's actually quite a lovely energy. It's a young, bright, fresh, having hope and faith again. I feel like for some of you too, and I keep getting this message, and I feel like it may be for the smaller group of you for whom this is not about a love romance-based relationship with someone else, although it could be a different type of relationship. This new beginning, this new emotional beginning, this acknowledgement of who you are and where you've come, and this new path that's opened in front of you. This Page of Cups also, I feel like for some of you, the energy of this Page of Cups represents that whatever this new beginning, new path, new relationship is, it has turned it's as if there was a way of looking at something you had, or a foundational belief that you had that you've been resting on for quite a long time, perhaps all of your life. And for some reason, whatever this thing is that's come in has caused you to shift your outlook on it and have a sense of, there's a sense of hope and faith and potential and promise that you didn't have before, in an area that you thought, okay, well, this is just the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be. And all of a sudden something's happened, and all of a sudden it's as if in this arena that almost as if you'd buried, you have this sense of hope and faith and promise and potential again. And however it plays out for you, it feels quite lovely, and again, very young and bright and hopeful. So you'll have to let me know what that is, Leo. Now, right next to that, we're probably roughly around the third week or so of the month, time being kind of fluid. We have the High Priestess Major Arcana card paired with the Five of Cups. So the High Priestess, Major Arcana cards, fingers of the divine, divine timing and orchestration, and just significant and profound energies coming in for you. The High Priestess is a very spiritual individual, incredibly spiritual, and also incredibly intuitive. I think the only other person that kind of comes close or equals her for being spiritual and intuitive is the Queen of Cups, who's also very intuitive. The High Priestess is about going within and touching base with that almost primal sense of knowing, that gut instinct, sense of intuition, which is also your connection with the divine, and allowing that to lead you, whatever it prompts you to do. This is also the card that tells you to pay attention to any dreams you might be having, any things that happen that feel like coincidences but kind of impact you nonetheless, any ideas or flashes of insight or intuition, even in your waking moments. Pay attention to those, because it's the universe trying to tell you something, trying to lead you and guide you, because that's what the High Priestess does. She allows every step she takes to be led by her own instinct, her own intuition, which is really her connection with the divine, and trusting that it's there for a reason, even if she can't see the entire path playing out in front of her. It's a card similar to the Star card in Hope and Faith, but it's again trusting that connection with the divine to lead you, and trusting in your own self, your own gut instincts and intuition, because you have done pretty well by yourself, or not even necessarily by yourself, but for yourself so far. And I feel like it's about overcoming this High Priestess energy of trusting in your own instincts and intuition, but trusting in your connection with the divine, that whatever is happening for you that's opened up this new pathway for you is completely a matter of divine timing and orchestration. And even if you can't see the path laid out in front of you, only each step as it appears before you on your path, trust in that, because this is energy that's coming in to help you overcome some kind of pain. I feel it's pain from the past or loss from the past, because the High Priestess is paired with, it's crowning, it's over the Five of Cups. Again, we have that watery suit about emotions and feelings and relationships and love. The Five of Cups is a card of focusing too much on loss, on grief, on what no longer is, which often points to kind of being stuck in the past. It represents grieving over something that you've lost, something which has been taken from you, either by somebody else or circumstances, divine timing or orchestration. It represents, you could have lost something through, maybe poor decisions of your own. It's about the loss of something which no longer is, or something which changed in a way that you don't like. You can see that the man on this card is sunk down to his knees on the grass, and he's obviously grieving, and he's focused on these three cups which are tipped over and spilled out, which represents some kind of loss or emptiness in his life that he's experiencing a lot of grief over. In fact, all of his attention and focus is on that, completely consumed by whatever this loss is, which again represents something from the past, some loss or trauma, grief, something. And I feel like for a lot of you it's kind of old, but for some of you it could represent a recent loss as well. There is a time to acknowledge and stand quietly and kind of honor the loss and the grief and what it's come from, because we don't just want to bury things and go on. We become unhealthy over time if we do that. But there does come a time where the time for mourning is over. There's time and season for everything. There does come a time when it's time to stop grieving. It's time to kind of tie a balloon string to it and let it go, Leo. And it doesn't mean that you let go the source of what you loved. It's just the pain and grief and attention on it. Sometimes people stay stuck in grief and anger and resentment, or focus on the negative for years, because somewhere I think in there is a feeling if they let go of the focus on it, then it's as if they lost the thing all over again. But you can take the joy and the beauty of whatever it is with you and leave the grief part of it behind, because this is not the Three of Cups. This is the Five of Cups. For behind this man are these two beautiful goblets, still upright, full, glowing almost. But he can't see them because his back is turned to him, because he's focused only on what he doesn't have, what's changed, what he's lost, on the past, basically. And these two goblets behind him can represent things that are still in his life, in his current environment, which are blessings, which he's not paying attention to. They can also represent opportunities and blessings which may come along that he will miss because he's stuck in the past. You can't look forwards and backwards at the same time. It's time, Leo. Wow, we spent a lot of time on that card, but that's just what came out. It's time, Leo, to kind of stand up and brush yourself off and give it one last kiss and kind of move on. And the High Priestess crowning that as a very, very strong message from the divine, saying, it's time, let go. It looks like you're already on a new path, and whatever it is, this new beginning, this new pathway that's opened up, even this new relationship, whatever it is, the High Priestess is saying, trust in it. Trust in the steps that are being laid out in front of you. Walk the steps that are in front of you, even if you feel like you want to see more of the path, but you can't. Trust in your instincts, in your intuition, but most of all in your connection with the divine. This is divine timing and orchestration. It's things that are in motion are meant to, and it's going to help you overcome whatever this loss or this grief, this pain from the past is. Now, moving on, at or towards the end of September 2016, Leo, I just finished Cancer. This reading is for Leo, forgive me. Leo, at or towards the end of September 2016, we have a rather powerful combination of two major arcana cards. We have the Moon paired with the Empress, beautiful card. So the Moon, and it's interesting because the Moon is sitting right next to the High Priestess, which also has a bit of the crescent moon in the background there. And anytime, the moon is always associated with deep, almost primal, intuitive, spiritual, going within, that sort of secret, behind the veil kind of feeling. And anytime you see the tarot cards, particularly in this deck, that have a picture of the moon on it in any of its aspects, there's always a sense of intuitive knowing, divine connection. It can also represent sometimes, the moon card can also represent feeling like the path in front of you is hidden and you simply want to see more of that. It can represent maybe feeling like you're like you don't have your itinerary, you don't have the map, you can't see the road in front of you, like you don't have all the information you want or that you feel that you need. And I feel like there is an aspect of this in there for you, but again, it's major arcana, and I feel like if you can't see too far ahead of you on the path right now, it's for a reason. And part of that reason, I feel, Leo, is to give you an opportunity to strengthen yourself in the hope and faith department, to strengthen whatever your relationship, your connection with the divine is, and also to strengthen your sense of trusting in your own intuition. Because if too much was clear, too much was revealed on the path, there would be no opportunities to learn how to go, okay, I feel feel this way. I'm not sure, but this is how I feel, so I'm going to trust in that and go with that. And when you become practiced at doing that, your own sense of intuitive knowledge and trusting in your own instinct strengthens, and it's a wonderful thing. So I think that for those of you who feel like, there's this new thing, but it's a little scary, and I still want to hang on to like this old thing for a while because I don't feel like I have enough information or I can see far enough ahead of me. The universe is providing you with an opportunity to strengthen your intuition and strengthen your sense of hope and faith in what lies ahead of you, even though you can't see it. So take it as an opportunity. The Moon card is a card about going within, connecting with the divine, trusting in your intuition. And even if you don't get a clear answer, walk the step that's laid in front of you, even if it doesn't appear until right before your foot is on it, because again, you are being led in a certain direction. This new beginning, this new pathway is, I get a strong sense of divine timing and orchestration. And if you allow it, if you trust in it, it will help you overcome, again, something from the past that represents a loss and a pain for you. So at or towards the end of September 2016, this is very strong advice for you. It's where you find yourself. Again, it's a very strong repeated message, and it's sitting right next to the High Priestess too. And I'm feeling that that Nine of Pentacles energy that you start off with, this is acknowledging and appreciating how far you've come, everything you've been through, everything that you've worked so hard to build up and just endure, both in through the difficult times and the positive times as well. And it looks like this new pathway is strongly calling you to deepen and hone your trust in your own gut instinct and intuition, which really is our connection with the divine and trusting in those feelings we get, those dreams we have. Strong message. If any of you are getting, pay attention to your dreams, those flashes of clarity and insight, anything where you feel compelled in one way versus another, regardless what somebody else might be telling you. I feel like the universe is really going to be strongly trying to lead you in certain areas over the next few weeks, Leo. A strong message for you to pay extra special attention to it over the next couple of weeks. It's time. We have that Moon card is paired with the Empress. It's just a beautiful reading, Leo. You begin with the Ace of Cups, new beginnings, and you end with the Empress, which is also about rebirth, new beginnings as well, the ground being ripe to begin, to plant. It's a much higher and louder echo of this Ace of Cups. Major Arcana card, the Empress is rebirth, birth and rebirth, fertility, pregnancy, planting the seeds. It's not about the whole picture, it's about the beginning of it. It's about, okay, the ground is fertile. It's time to plant seeds and begin to and water it and begin to nurture it and feed it and sustain it so that it can over time grow into the beautiful manifestation of what it's meant to be. It's about new beginnings and pathways as well. The Empress is the yes card for beginning new projects, new pathways, new relationships, new jobs, just new anything. It's also a card that connects with nature and the advice attached to it sometimes too. Well, always, because the Empress is the Earth Mother, traditional Earth Mother of the tarot deck. She combines, she's the beautiful combination of both the visible, tangible, material, sensual world with that unseen, intangible, spiritual world as well. She's more of an outward manifestation, where the High Priestess is more of the inward manifestation, the inward spiritual energies. So for some of you, spending more time in nature over the next couple of weeks, although I think always spending more time in nature is a wonderful thing, because particularly if we're trying to figure our way through something, make a decision, or just trying to combat doubts, fears, and insecurities, finding a place that's, green and growing and lush can help remove the external noise and help us kind of deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, or in decision-making process too. It just kind of quiets the external stuff and makes it a little bit easier for us to hear that voice of intuitive knowing. So however you look at it, Leo, at the end of the month, it's time. I almost feel like going into October, and Cancer had a similar feel too. Going into October, I have this vision of you patting the soil down over those seeds you've just planted and giving it its first water, and then kind of sitting back and waiting for the little green sprouts to poke up through the dirt. So that's where you end September 2016. New beginnings, feeling a little giddy, maybe still a little nervous, still kind of tempted to hang on to stuff from the past, but it's time to let go, and you know that your intuition is telling you again. I feel like you're going to be getting some pretty strong intuitive messages over the next couple of weeks, so pay attention to any particular flashes of insight that come on you, dreams you have, etc. Your overall crowning card, overall energy and advice, is the Six of Wands. This is a card of triumph and success. Triumph, which comes from achieving something. I think for some of you, it's overcoming and struggling with something and overcoming it. And I'm looking at this Five of Cups, letting go of the past. This is about, and it's great energy to accompany the Nine of Pentacles. You've come so far, Leo. You've struggled, and it feels like it's just letting go of one last little piece of the past, kind of, but new pathways have opened up. Success, victory, and triumph is your overall energy. And I'm not sure how this plays out specifically, because again, I'm getting 3 or 4 different ways this story is splitting off for people, but any way you look at it, this is great crowning energy. This is victory, success, triumph. This is also a card of personal recognition, of being recognized for your efforts and achievement. So some of you may be singled out for recognition over the next couple of weeks for something that you've done. But I feel, again, like it's more internal for you over the next couple of weeks, Leo. Like you just realize how far something happened, you're on a new pathway, and you've realized, wow, I've come so far, and look at everything that I've achieved and just endured. And yeah, you guys will have to let me know how this plays out for you specifically, because again, I'm getting 3 or 4 different branches off. And you guys are great with the feedback, so I rely on that. And I love reading about how these readings play out for you, because even though I've been doing this for so long, so many years, you never stop learning. The knowledge of the tarot, it's so complex, and you can spend a lifetime and more learning about it. And when I read these comments that you guys post about how the readings play out for you, how they specifically relate to you in different cards and card combinations, it always continues to deepen my understanding and awareness of the cards and how they connect and play out in people's lives. Here it is, 25 years later, and I read comments from you guys saying, well, this is what's going on in my life. So that combination of the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups, and I read it and go, yeah, I didn't quite, that's an extra piece I hadn't ever really seen before. So I continue to learn from you guys just as much as any of you might learn from me or other readers. So thank you so very much for that. So anyway, wow, this one's gone kind of long, but it's over now, Leo. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. It's been a really interesting, somewhat complex reading. I hope you've enjoyed it, or that you've at least found it useful in some way, that it's brought you some wisdom and insight and clarity, because that's why we do these readings. So, and again, if any of you are interested in a one-on-one reading with me, I would be delighted. Just send me an email at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com, and I'll get back with you and we'll set something up. And until I see you all in a couple of weeks for the October 2016 general readings, as always, Leo, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.